Qui a Stresa con la signora Susa Katz, produttrice del film Happy New Year, una produzione svizzera che racconta una vigilia di Capodanno vissuta in 5 vicende diverse. Ci può raccontare un po' questa storia?
The beginning was an idea just to tell a story about one night, a special night, and everybody everywhere in the world knows the last night of the year. Everybody has expectations and everybody thinks about what happened next year, what will happen next year, or what happened last year. So the interest of the producer and the filmmaker was, let's make a story about just a simple story, one day, one night. And the director also had the idea first to say, we try to make 5 stories on the same time, happening on the same time, and to be just in one place, which means in one city. And that was the beginning. And then they started to work with 2 scriptwriters. We knew from the beginning we wanted someone young, a story with a kid, a story with elderly people. We wanted to have a story, love story, and we wanted to have something where at that special night everybody feels lonely. So we thought there must be a character who will show that a lot of people are lonely in cities, and it comes out at the last night of the year for many people. Because what we know is suicidal rates are higher at that time of the year. So the director said, I want to have one character which tells a bit the story of loneliness. And then it started.
Ok, perfetto. Una seconda domanda un po' più specifica. Una produzione svizzera che sceglie un doppiaggio italiano. È una cosa molto inusuale. Ci può raccontare qualcosa di questa scelta?
This story, we thought that this story will be a story everywhere in the world, will be understood. But the decision to find financement, to produce it in Switzerland and only in Switzerland, forced us to decide in one language, and then we made it in Swiss German. But with the television in Switzerland, where we have 3 languages, the Swiss German, the French and the Italian, we discussed afterwards by proposing why this film should have dubbing versions. And we are grateful that the television had been convinced immediately when they saw the film by saying, yes, this is a film which has to have a dubbing version. Unfortunately, today in television you don't see subtitled films anymore. People are not used to that. So we have to do the service to bring dubbing versions, and we made this with an Italian company, which was very nice. They found very good characters who just matched to our Swiss German characters, and I think it's hard to see that they don't speak really Italian, that they speak Swiss German in reality.
Ok, ora le faccio 2 domande concentrate di più sul festival. Una è generale e una su Stresa in particolare. Secondo lei che cos'è il cinema indipendente oggi?
Independent film is a tough world, and we need this independent filmmakers and independent stories. I think the audience wants to see stories which are not made like everywhere else. Every culture, every man in the world has a story they want to tell, and people who will understand these stories. And independent filmmakers or independent production are discovering stories. They're close to people, and they have more invention when they're independent, instead of making films too many people are involved in and telling them what to do or what they want to do or what they need to do for the market. Because film is a very special art. You can never know in advance for 100% that it's working or that it is important. What we all know is that it must be entertainment, but it can be also educational, or it can be helpful to understand life, love, the world in general. And there's no, there are no boundaries or no limitations. It doesn't matter if you come from Italy, from Switzerland, from France, from Africa or Asia. People always will love to be entertained and to listen to stories or to watch stories when they are close to their life, or even when they just want to watch them. It can be helpful for them to understand the life or the world in all. So we have a certain responsibility in making films.
3 buoni motivi per essere qui in Stresa quest'anno e 3 buoni motivi per tornarci.
Life starts in small worlds, and I think we need festivals or places like this where we can show people, listen, you don't have to go to big famous places. It starts just in your neighborhood. The story starts in your neighborhood, but also that you can watch films in your neighborhood. And audience is not only in big cities. We need to be close to the audience, and this starts also in places like Stresa. Maybe nobody knows now, but I think festivals like this have a good perspective because they are really for the public, for the audience. Filmmakers or producers, we need the response of audience. And in places like this, it's possible to get in direct contact, to be close to the people. And there can be things happening for the future, but also for the past. Because for a filmmaker, when a film is done, or for a producer, the film is not done when it's just finished. We also want to know for our next project how it worked, how does people react. We want to listen if they like it or not. We want to know, are we on the right movement to tell stories which are close to the human beings, or is there a tendency that people are more interested in other subjects? And therefore we need festivals to get close to the audience. And big festivals where a lot of market is, there are too many possibilities, too many people, that it's sometimes even hard to meet each other. So an advantage of Stresa, for example, is that you can meet, that you can see each other, because there are not hundreds of photographers or hundreds of cameras around that you don't know where do you meet your colleagues, where do you meet people. And this is a big advantage of a nice place like this, because people feel attracted to a wonderful landscape and surrounding. And I think when people come here and they see how beautiful it is, work is much more lighter, much more easier than in a rainy, grey, dark place where it's depressing, and this cheers you up. I mean, it's beautiful, and this can be also be in your work afterwards.
Grazie mille. Grazie per essere venuta qui a Stresa, speriamo di vederla l'anno prossimo.
Grazie mille.